A wetland is a fertile transition zone between the aquatic and the terrestrial. Wetlands are complex and diverse biological communities. The natural abundance of wetlands is a result of their stability and tranquility. Water is a basic element of life, and the clear, shallow water of a wetland efficiently stores energy from the sun. The conditions are ideal for plant and animal growth.
Over the past 125 years, tens of thousands of our children were taken from their families and forced to attend residential schools. These schools were government-funded and church-run. And within their walls, brutal attacks were made on our culture, languages, and self-esteem. Reports of physical and sexual abuse are widespread. The government forced Native children to leave their parents and their homes at the age of 5 or 6. Some never made it home again. In many cases, family values eroded and parenting skills were never acquired. Skills many of us are still struggling to recover. The official government function of the schools in the 1920s was to, quote, get rid of the Indian problem, unquote. The last residential school for Native children in Canada closed in 1981.
Over 600 works, the Justin and Elizabeth Lang collection of African art illustrates the culture and history of African peoples, such as the Yoruba of Nigeria. One of the museum's 7 galleries is wholly devoted to this collection, one of the most important in Canada. Changing exhibitions of contemporary and historical art fulfill Agnes Etherington's dream.
There's evidence throughout history that there's a relationship between creativity and Kundalini. And one of the most wonderful examples of this, Nikola Tesla, who is just an amazing man. And he's very little known, which is too bad because he's often called the man who founded the 20th century because without his inventions that had to do with electricity, we wouldn't have any of the electrical devices we have today. He invented the concept of alternating current, which made electricity work so that it works the way we have it today. He also developed the AC motor and the AC generator.
There will probably be a lot of judges that watch the Aboriginal Achievement Awards. They will see the beauty of our culture. They will see the courage of our people. They'll witness the successes of our people, and they'll have a different perspective of our people.
Mr. Justice Harry S. Leform, from the Mississaugas of New Credit First Nation, grew up in Buffalo, New York during an era when Aboriginal people often hid their heritage. Harry's Aboriginal pride was ignited when he became a basketball coach for an Aboriginal youth group, which propelled him into the heart of the Aboriginal political renaissance of the 1970s. Harry was one of the first Aboriginal graduates of Toronto's prestigious Osgoode Hall Law School and practiced corporate law at the Toronto firm of Osler, Hoskin and Harcourt before pioneering one of the first Aboriginal rights law practices in Canada.
When I tell people that I tutor in the prison, either the novelty impresses people or people like to tell me they don't deserve education in there, this should be done to them or that.
The first time going into the prison was scary, a little bit. It was strange, definitely.
You're always thinking about it with the cameras and the guards and the bars and everything like that. I mean, it is a maximum security prison with the doors slamming shut and the security and, you know, all of the people in there are in there for good reasons generally.
Over a 14-year period, Cavalli Sforza and his colleagues compiled genetic profiles of indigenous peoples from 2,000 communities. Populations like these had lived in their present locations for centuries and provide a more accurate reflection of how people were distributed before Columbus arrived in the Americas. Cavalli Sforza's work shows that modern humans spread throughout Africa first. Then, beginning about 100,000 years ago, they began migrating into the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and down into Australia. At the same time, they moved north toward China and Japan. Europe wasn't inhabited until some 40,000 years ago, and the Americas, the last to be populated, would wait an additional 10,000 years or more, until a time when the Bering Strait was dry.